All right, so all webinars are closed captioned and recorded and posted to our website for access for a later date or re-review for anyone that could not tune in live tonight. Your questions will be answered at the conclusion of each session. If there is any specific need for a personal conversation, the Parent Academy's email address is parentacademy@gm.sbac.edu. And we will get to those questions or your request for additional information forwarded to the correct Alachua County Public Schools team member or community member. And now, without further ado, I would like to present to you our guest speaker for the evening, Ms. Shanita.
Thank you so much, Tina. I appreciate the introduction. Without further ado, we'll go ahead and we will move forward with our presentation. So first we'll cover what's on the agenda. I know it looks like there's a lot of things that we're going to cover, but these things will be encompassed throughout. But we will hit the main targets, which are making a difference by continuing your education, paying for school, and also enrollment. The other agenda items here are the mission that we'll talk about next, continuing education options, the FAFSA, how to get started, student types, and of course, paying for school, and then we'll end. So a little bit about TRIO EOC. TRIO is a group of 8 federal programs that provide services and support for individuals from disadvantaged backgrounds who want to pursue higher education. The services provided by the program is free. So all of the TRIO programs that we have, the 8 programs, all the services that we provide are free. Our mission, though, is to empower adults 19 and over to enroll in educational opportunities, apply for financial aid, and use resources that will minimize obstacles that may arise as they continue their education. One thing I want to leave with you, one quote, if I leave nothing else: education is the one thing that no one can take away from you. So with an education, you're able to provide more stability for your family, take them to new heights, and also leave a legacy for them. Making a difference by continuing your education. When you're trying to decide what career path to take, consider the following. What things have you heard other people say about you? More so the positive things. What are some of the strengths that you recognize that you may have? It could be something as good as small as problem solving, which if you have really good math skills, problem solving is something that you're really good at. Think about some of your hobbies. What do you like to go and do for fun? What are your interests? What other skills do you have? Think about places that you've worked, like previous employment. What types of jobs have you had in the past? What kind of things have you heard your supervisors or someone in leadership managing you? What kinds of positive things have they said about you? What things have they noticed? So think about those things when you're trying to decide what career path do you want to go down. Think about those things. What are your goals? What are your values? When you think about a job, make sure that that job aligns with the values that you have for your own personal self. And then if there is someone that you know, and maybe you don't know them, but you've gone to a place of business and someone there is doing the job that you'd like to do, make sure that you take the time to reach out to them, ask them questions about what are the requirements for obtaining a job in that specific career field. I'm going to move on to continuing education options. Please note that Santa Fe is more than just a 2-year or a 4-year institution. We also offer certificates, or we do apprenticeships or trade programs. So some of the things that are offered under the certificate and apprenticeship programs are business, construction and technical, early childhood education, health sciences, fine arts, and entertainment. So those are things that in the certificates and apprenticeship programs, they could be as short as 4 months or take up to 4 years. And when I think about the apprenticeship programs, what happens with those programs typically is that the student then also has an employer that's paying for them to go to school, and they're going to school at least 2 days a week, but they're also getting to learn the skills needed to obtain a job after they have finished the program. So that's why it may take up to 4 years for some of the apprenticeship programs. And that could be like HVAC, electrical, carpentry, plumbing. There's a variety of apprenticeship programs that are offered at Santa Fe. Now, when you think about the associate's degree, and so there's two options. There's an Associate of Science degree, which prepares you to go straight into the workforce after you complete that associate's, and that would be 60 credit hours or 2 years. And that's with you going full time. If you're going part time, it could take you maybe 4 years because you're not going as a full-time student. But when it comes to an Associates of Arts degree, that typically means that you're preparing to transfer to another college or university. So it means that you'll get your AA degree and then you'll transfer to a 4-year institution to complete your bachelor's degree. Now, when it comes to GED and adult education, we're working with people who may not have their high school diploma just yet, but Santa Fe does offer adult education courses that you can take online. You could do them in person, or you could do a hybrid where you're doing classes on Zoom some days, and then maybe you're going into the classroom on other days. And then lastly, a bachelor's degree. So for those students who graduate from Santa Fe with an AA degree, Santa Fe has an agreement with 6 other colleges in the state of Florida. Right here, we only list 3 of them, but they are, the 3 that are listed here are FAMU, UNF, and the University of South Florida. But there are 3 more institutions that are also a part of this agreement. So once you graduate from Santa Fe, it's an automatic admission into that college or university. And you can find the other colleges listed on our website. So when you're thinking about whether you want to get a trade or whether you want to go to college and get a 2-year or 4-year degree, this is just a graph with information from the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Some of the data is from 2017 and some is from 2021. But as you see here, over to the left of your screen under trades, that means that this is going to take 2 years or less typically. Consider some of the following questions. How long will it take you to go to school if you're trying to make this decision? Do I do a trade or do I go to college? Think of these questions. How long do you want to go to college or go to school for? Are you sure what you'd like to do in the future? And then what degree of education would you like to attain? So think about some of those things. And then over to the right, you also see the average salaries for, so if you wanted to compare incomes from a trade school versus a college, getting a college education, you can see here, there is some variation. There are some slight differences for certain things. Excuse me, it does require that you get a 4-year degree. So depending on what it is, so if it's something like engineering, yes, you may be required to get a 4-year degree, but there are some blue collar jobs that still pay you more money, could pay you as high as $100,000 a year compared to an average of $61,000 per year. So you really have to decide what's going to work best for you. But I wanted to provide you with some options so that you'd have something to compare it to. So paying for school, we look at a lot of different things when it comes to paying for school. There are a lot of options out there that are available to students, but one of the things that we talk to students about at Santa Fe is applying for financial aid, getting the Pell Grant. And why is it important to apply for financial aid? $3.6 billion in federal Pell Grants went unclaimed because of uncompleted FAFSA applications in 2023. And this is according to fastweb.com. $3.6 billion in federal Pell Grant money went unclaimed because applicants did not complete the FAFSA application. Oftentimes people think that they may not qualify for financial aid, so that maybe they start the process, but they don't finish. We strongly encourage you to go ahead and finish. You may not know what you could possibly qualify for, but apply for the Pell Grant. There are other grants that are within financial aid that you could very well be eligible for. So you never know until you actually submit the application. Why else is it important for you to apply for financial aid? It's free and it's an easy process to complete. It offers several ways to finance your education and living expenses through grants and sometimes loans. And over 85% of students receive some form of financial aid. Students receiving financial aid are more likely to graduate from the institutions in a timely fashion. So if you're still contemplating whether or not you need to apply, again, here's some data that says, yes, you should go ahead and apply. It will help you. It's an additional asset to you, and it's free. It's not a loan. It's not something that you have to pay back. But in addition to the financial aid, there are also scholarships that you can apply for as well. So when it comes to the FAFSA, or the application for financial aid, when it comes to that, you need to kind of know when you're starting your next academic year. So if you were applying for financial aid for this school year, meaning for the fall of 2023, you need to go ahead and apply for that by July 1st. And then the tax year information that you're going to be using is from 2021, because you're really looking at they're looking at the information. We are applying for the 2023-2024 FAFSA, but we need the reporting year for 2021. Again, if you're applying for school this fall, if you want to go to school this fall, you need to go ahead and complete the FAFSA and use the 2021 tax information that you have. And if you need help with that, we at TRIO EOC, we can help you apply for financial aid. And here are some different options that will help you pay for school. So one of the things will be finding a part-time job or doing work study. So when you're applying for financial aid, there is an option for you to do work study, which will give you the opportunity to also study while you're at work. There's also scholarships and grants, as I mentioned. Again, this is free money that anyone can use, so you can, and it's essentially stack that money. So if you got financial aid, maybe you got the Pell Grant and some other grants, this is additional money that you can use on top of what you received in Pell Grant funds. There's a Parent Plus loan. There's also emergency aid, which schools may provide through vouchers for food or books. And then lastly, you could also use a cosigner use a cosigner and only borrow what you need. So there's private loans that are available to you as well. But really think long and hard as to whether or not you need a loan, because you will have to pay that money back once you've graduated. Now let's talk about enrollment. So when you enroll at Santa Fe or any institution, you navigate to the institution's academics page and research their programs of study to try to figure out what it is that you're looking for, determine what degree path that you want to go down, or what certification path that you want to go down. And then the step 2 would be, once you've decided on the program, then you go to the admissions tab, click on that, and then you learn how to apply to that specific career field. Now, this is just an example of our Santa Fe website. So you'll see the heading here. It says, what's your goal? This is the admissions page for our site. So one of the first things is finding your vocation. And that's, higher wage and in-demand careers that you can complete in 1, 2, or 4 years, or in as little as 4 months. You also get to determine, is it a career and technical path that you decide that you want to go down. So here again, this may be your certifications or completing your AS degree. And then we also offer non-credited courses that you can take for like professional development. Maybe you want to get better at Excel or Word. There are continuing education courses offered at Santa Fe. So you have the opportunity to do that as well. And then you look at the type of student. So when you're applying to Santa Fe, It may be the same on some other college websites. I'm not exactly sure, but I'm just using Santa Fe right now. You pick whether you're a first-time in college student, whether you're a transfer student, or maybe you're a student that's returning. You've been in school before at Santa Fe and you're a returning student. So you click on either one of those links, whatever link fits your situation. And then some students wonder whether or not they should apply to more than one college. The short answer is a resounding yes. This will increase your chances of getting accepted. I'm not sure if you all are familiar with what's called the Common App. It is a newer application that is useful, and it allows you to apply to multiple colleges at one time. Now, applying to multiple colleges may mean it may become costly because there are fees oftentimes when you apply to colleges. But according to bestcolleges.com, almost 50% of colleges do not charge an application fee anymore. So that is good news, but there are still those colleges that do charge an application fee. But this is an app that you could also consider using if you want to apply to multiple colleges versus doing the handwritten way, or even having to go online and individually apply to multiple colleges. The Common App is a useful tool, but you can also check the college's website to see if they offer application waivers. That is something a lot of institutions do offer. So that is an opportunity to get your fees waived if you check their website and see if it's available to you. Now, Santa Fe does not have an application fee. Again, there are some schools that are an open door, as we talked about earlier on, where you will automatically get admitted into that school. But again, there's no guarantee that you will get admitted. So applying to multiple schools makes sense. Multiple schools may be right for you, and then there may be just that one school that offers you the most money. So you have to determine what's going to work best for you and your current situation. And whether you apply to one school or multiple schools, Santa Fe Trio EOC is more than happy to assist you. Are there any questions?
So I do have a question. I had one person email me once they knew that you guys were coming on to do the presentation, and they asked me about CNA, maybe certification. Do you offer that through Trio?
We will assist you with applying for the CNA program. That is something that is offered at Santa Fe, and it is covered by financial aid. Or we'll also help you apply for financial aid, as well as scholarships to cover the cost for that particular program. So yes, if you have someone, you can always refer them. They could scan the QR code. It takes them directly to an application, and we will actually sit down and schedule some time to meet with that student or potential student.
Wonderful. Can you give us some other certifications that I guess people wouldn't normally think of, or just give us kind of like who typically comes to see you and what are they typically looking for?
Oftentimes, we're getting people for the CNA certification or for the phlebotomy program. We do see students that want to do welding. So that's one of the trade programs, and we would refer them. We would go ahead and get them set up, applying for college and all of those things, applying to Santa Fe, but then refer them over to the academic advisor by the name of Tom Mason when it comes to welding and apprenticeship type programs. So in addition to welding, there is like carpentry, there's plumbing, there's HVAC. All of those are short-term or shorter-term classes that you can take. But again, some of the apprenticeships may take up to 4 years because you're only going to class 2 times a week. And so that means that your employer is paying for you to go to school and while you're learning on the job, but then they're paying for you to get your education, but you're only going twice a week. So that's why it will take you a little bit longer to complete the program. But it's a good avenue for a lot of people, and they don't typically, I think with the apprenticeship Most of those do not require you to have a high school diploma. It's strongly encouraged, but you're not required to have it.
Okay. And then what's another question for you?
And there's one.
Let me see if anybody has sent us any in the Q&A. Is TRIO specifically for financial aid? Also, does this program include teaching certificates for Alachua County?
So TRIO is not specific to financial aid. We just assist you with applying for financial aid. We assist you with applying to any college that you want to attend. So our target group though is like 19 and above, and then income eligible first generation college students. And when it's first generation, we mean that your parent did not receive a bachelor's degree. So whatever school you decide you want to go to, whether it's the University of Florida or any college, we can help you apply to those institutions.
And then I guess, do you guys have a teaching certification that?
I don't recall seeing anything specific to a teaching certification that's being done at Santa Fe. There is the education where you can get like early childhood education degree or certification, but not just a specific teaching certification. So if they're speaking of what's required by Alachua County, that is not something that I'm aware of, but I can research and find out and follow back up with you, Tina.
Okay. But there is an early childhood education. So is that a 2-year program, or what's the time frame?
There is a 2-year early childhood education certification, but then there's also the AA where you transfer over to a 4-year institution. So transfer over to a college or university.
Okay. And then for a GED, for someone that wants to obtain their GED, how does that work, or what kind of process would they go through in order to get that?
So with the GED, if we see them first, we go ahead and talk about, what the requirements are, which would be, we would refer you over to an intake specialist for the adult ed department, and they will walk you through the GED orientation, and then they were asked that they will set you up to take the TABE test. And so the TABE test is going to identify where you are academically, and that way they can kind of set up your education plan for you. So making sure that they know where you need to start and not have you start all the way at the beginning if that's not necessary. The cost for the GED class is $30. And then the cost for taking the 4 parts of the GED test is $32. And so I do know with Santa Fe, so once you're enrolled in Santa Fe, you can actually take the GED either as an in-person learning, or you could do the hybrid learning where you do some classes in person and some classes online, or you can do it all online. But if you're doing it online, you do have to be 18 and older to do the classes online through Santa Fe. You can take classes downtown at our downtown Blunt Center location, or you can take them on the main campus as well.
Okay. Do we have any additional questions for her at this time? And does financial aid pay for GED?
No, financial aid does not pay for GED, but if the participants are ages 16 to 24, there is an opportunity for Career Source through the WIA program to pay for the GED class to cover that cost. So we do talk to them about that. Good question. I forgot about that part. So there is opportunity for, funding to help cover the cost if they are not able to pay for the class.
Okay. And so the QR code that is here on the screen, they just put your phone in front of it, and then it'll open up to you guys's application process.
Correct.
And then
It'll,
fill out. Okay.
yeah, it says short application won't take you more than a couple minutes to complete. And once that is done, it will go to a database, and then we will make contact with that applicant at that point to try to schedule an appointment with them and kind of walk through what they want to do. So let's just say it is someone that wants to get a GED. We do talk about the GED, but then we also talk about what you want to do after you've completed your GED. And then, once they've done that, once they've completed the GED, they can always come back to Trio EOC and we can walk them through, okay, let's become an actual Santa Fe student at that point. And we'll help you apply again to Santa Fe and become a Santa Fe student. Once you become the Santa Fe student, we talk to you about getting your student ID. And once you have that student ID, it does give you access to other things. So you're able to, if you need to, ride the city bus for free. And so and then I think you may also be able to get a few discounts at some of the local restaurants around town by having that Santa Fe ID as well. But once they are in our program and we get them set up and ready to go, we will hand them off to our student support services program. And through the student support services area, they will literally, it's almost like hand holding. You will have a dedicated academic coach that will be with you until you finish your certification, degree, trade, whatever it is that you wanted to go to school for. They will be with you until you've completed that. So any questions, any additional assistance that you may need, you will always have somebody there to help and support you.
Wonderful. So with the trades, like the construction trades that you would go for, would they do that right there at Santa Fe?
That is done at Santa Fe, but it's on the main campus. So there's a whole construction area or construction building, and those courses are taken there on the Northwest campus.
Okay. Let's see if there's any other questions that I can ask that maybe they want to know and just not asking. And if there's anyone on here that has questions that I'm missing, please just type them in the Q&A section for her to answer that for you. Are the classes, because since we're parents, could be potentially parents that are on here and have kids, like what would the time frame be for classes? Like if I wanted to get a certificate with CNA, is that during the day? Is that the evening? Typically,
I don't know exactly when those classes are offered. I can check on that and I can definitely follow up with you. I think they may be during the day, like a 8 to 4:30 type, but I don't know that for certain, but I will definitely follow back up with you and let you know. We do have something called the ACB Excel program, and I think they're offering phlebotomy again. We just offered it this semester and they are about to end that term, but they're going to be offering it again in August. So for the fall, it's limited spots. I want to say there may be about 16 spots. With this last term, they did offer it for free. So the parents that got into the ACB Excel program, they were able to take the 16 to 20 week course for free, and childcare is provided if you are a parent of an Alachua County School Board student. So that is another program that will be coming up. You'll start to see more advertising about it. I'll make sure that I send you, once we get it, I'll make sure that I forward that information to you for you to share. But again, it really is, it's a small group, but it's a first come, first serve. And I can tell you that phlebotomists are definitely in demand right now. I think we may have just lost Tina. Let's see. Tina.
I do apologize. I think my internet went out.
Okay.
Okay, I think we have everybody still here. I think maybe I just blanked out,
Okay.
maybe.
Can you hear me?
I can. Mhm. I apologize for that. I'm not sure what happened.
That's okay. Let's see. Just trying to put this here. There's one more. Okay, there we go. Tina, are you there? I apologize. I'm not sure if you all can hear me. I'm not sure what's happening. I think she may be having some internet issues. Looks like there's a question that says, what are the requirements? What if I owe Santa Fe? Crystal, can you give me a little bit more when you're asking what are the requirements? I know if you owe Santa Fe, we will have to work out, you'd have to see our cashier's office. There are options to work out a payment plan to take care of whatever that outstanding balance may be. I hope I answered your question. If there's a little bit more, I didn't know exactly what you were asking as it relates to what are the requirements. But again, if you do owe Santa Fe, you will have to work out a payment agreement or a payment arrangement, and that can be done by contacting our cashier's office on the Northwest campus.
Okay, I think I'm back. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Not sure why I keep getting kicked off. And so we are getting questions then?
There was another question from Crystal.
Okay.
She said, what are the requirements? What if I owe Santa Fe? I would like to get a little bit more clarity about what specific requirements is she referring to. But I did answer the question about what if I owe Santa Fe.
Okay. And then I think if Crystal, there her email address is down there on the screen. So if you need to have a personal kind of conversation with her, if she wants to know more, then you can definitely take down her email address.
And my phone number is here as well. It's 381-7220 is actually the number.
381-7220.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Grades Pell Grant. I'm not sure what that. Do you mean, do you have to make specific grades to maintain the Pell Grant? I'm not really sure.
If that's the question, you definitely have to maintain at least a C average in order to keep your Pell Grant. But Crystal, if there's a little bit more that you want to discuss as it relates to that, I can certainly have a conversation with you about it. I would love to. Okay, she said she will call.
Yeah. And I think, should she go ahead and scan that QR code?
She can do that. She can go ahead and scan the QR code.
Okay.
And I have her name written down, so I know to look for it.
Okay. Do we have any additional questions? I guess what's the next start date for some of the courses that you have going on? Is everything starting again in August or? Do they
So
have
then,
opportunities to start sooner?
so the next set of classes is set to start on May 15th for summer A, and then on July 3rd for summer B classes. And then for the fall classes start on August 21st.
Okay. So if they were to fill out an application, come in and meet with you guys soon, it is a possibility that they would be able to start in May?
Yes, you would be able to start in May if that's what you decide that you want to do. But keep in mind, I want to say the funds for your class or classes would be due May 7th. So a week prior to the start of classes, your funds would be due to pay for the class prior to that.
Okay. Good stuff. Let's see. Does anyone have any additional questions? Do you guys have any partnerships with local companies and organizations around the Alachua County area? So that way, if they were to go and get these certificates or say CNA or phlebotomy or even the construction, do you guys have a partnership where they would help them, where you would help them find jobs?
I know with the construction side or the apprenticeship side, I do know that Tom Mason works very closely with different businesses here locally and outside of Gainesville. So I do recall a recent conversation with him, and he's saying he always gets calls from employers asking, do you have any people graduating or that have completed, their certification? They're looking to hire students. So there are people here, like even in the health science area, I'm sure they're getting those same types of calls as well. But a student would need to talk with that academic advisor. So again, Tom Mason is one for trades and the construction area, and then there are some specific ones for the different health science fields.
Wonderful.
And so we definitely refer you to your advisors in those specific areas.
And then once you all kind of get them through that application process and through the financial aid process, are you guys available for them to contact after that? Or do you kind of just turn them loose to their advisors, or can they come back and say, hey, I'm having this issue, or I need help with that, or
Yes, good question. Yeah, definitely. You can always call us. We're always available. We don't try to throw you away. Our plan is to kind of hand you off to another TRIO program if it fits. But I still get students calling me back now that have kind of moved on, but they still call. Maybe they do have questions, and it's largely because we've developed those relationships. So that is one of our goals, is to try to develop a relationship with a student where they feel comfortable enough to come back and ask questions, or just sit down and have a chat, or even give us an update on how things are going, how well they've done. So we do have those interactions with students. So yes, we're not throwing anybody away. If you ever need us at any time, you can always call the TRIO academic coaches.
Okay. And then where are you guys actually located? Are you on you're at the main campus?
Our offices are downtown. We're at the Blount Center in the DC building. So it would be the third of the small. I think we're the third building, and we're the smaller of the three buildings on the downtown campus. So we're downtown, trying to be as easily accessible to the community. So yes, we're downtown. If anybody ever needs to find us, we're at 520 Northwest 5th Avenue.
Okay, wonderful. And then if I am not technologically savvy and I can't figure out how to take a picture of this QR code, I can just come into the office and meet with you guys, and I can fill it out there in the office?
Absolutely. We do take walk-ins, and we do have a computer lab right outside our office, so we can quickly get you set up so that you don't have to do a handwritten application. You can actually do it on the computer. Sometimes we'll do it on Office or right there in the computer lab. So if you need assistance with applying for financial aid, we'll definitely take you to the lab, walk you over there, sit down with you and walk you through the steps of applying for aid, applying for a college, applying for scholarships, or even if you need assistance writing an essay for a scholarship, we have that as well.
That's awesome.
And one thing I think I forgot to mention was when we're talking about trying to make decisions on what career path you want to take, we do have what's called Career Coach, and you can actually access it from the Santa Fe website. And it will, if you're undecided about what you want to do, you can take this 60-question assessment. It won't take you more than 10 to 15 minutes. And what that assessment does is it will provide you with suggestions based on your interest of different career fields that you have options of. So it will provide you with the different types of career fields. It'll let you know what it takes. So whether it's maybe you need to get a certification, or maybe you need to actually get a degree, it will tell you what classes you need to take. It also provides you with what types of jobs you can get if you go in that particular direction. It is free. Anybody can utilize it. But we do have a group, the Career Assessment Center on the Northwest campus. And if you want more detail or need further assistance on how to use that information that you've been provided, Jimmy Yon on our Northwest campus is, I think, the director over career assessment, over the Career Assessment Center. Him and his staff would be more than happy to help.
Okay. And so does this test also tell me what I'm good at?
I think it's kind of picking it based off, I know it's picking it based off how you answer the questions, but not so much about whether you're good at this or whether you're good at that. But inherently, you would think that that's what it is based on how you've answered the question. So it's definitely looking at what you seem to be interested in.
Okay.
So it does provide a good gauge, and anybody can take it. I've taken it recently. Some of the stuff I already knew, some stuff I was kind of surprised. So it's good information. You can, it's free and you can download it or have it emailed to you, but there is no cost.
Okay. Okay. And say I want to do something like cosmetology, or I want to go to mortuary school. Is that something that I would come to TRIO and say, this is something that I want to study and I need help?
We can certainly do that. We do have, we have had students that want to go to school to do hair, and right now that's not a class offering at Santa Fe anymore. So we do provide them with some schools that are in the local area. Maybe they are even, so for students that live in Stark, Jacksonville may be closer. So there are schools there as well. So yes, we will help you do that research and help you get to where you need to go. Also let you know what the cost is if financial aid is offered. Really sit down and walk through what the overall cost would be for you to complete that degree or certification in those programs. But yes, we'll help you do the research.
Okay. Let's see. Is there any additional questions that you have? And if not, and if you think of some, after this webinar tonight, you can definitely reach out to Ms. Dunmore, or you can reach out to the Parent Academy and myself. And we'll make sure that those questions get answered for you. Again, if you would please just take down her contact information, so that way if something comes up after tonight, you can definitely send her a message. CDL training.
So Santa Fe doesn't offer CDL training, but I do know that the North Florida Technical College in Stark, they do offer CDL training. And then if I'm not mistaken, CareerSource also has the opportunity, or you may have the opportunity through CareerSource to actually get funding to pay for the CDL class. But yeah, Santa Fe doesn't, that's not something Santa Fe offers, but I do know that it is offered in Bradford County in Stark at North Florida Technical College.
Okay. And then I think too, just to go on off of the CDL training, I know that depending on what you want to do as far as the CDLs, whether it's bus driving, or truck driving, is you could, actually get the manual, and study the manual, and you can take the CDL test, right at our local DMV. I was told that it was like maybe no more than $6.25 to take it. And then if you don't pass it and you want to take it again, I think it's $10 for each additional time that you take it. So depending on if you are looking to go to truck driving school, versus just getting your CDLs. So I'm not sure, Crystal, which one that may fall under for you, but I've been doing a little bit of research myself in regards to CDL, so that may be an option for you as well. And I will see if there's any additional questions, because I don't want to hold you guys if there is nothing more that you need at this time. But I will keep it open here for a few more minutes to see if there's anything else that you guys have thought of that you would like to ask. Okay, I don't see that anyone is typing any questions right now. So I will not keep you guys on, and I'll go ahead and close out for the evening. And again, if you have any questions that you may want to ask, please feel free to contact either of us. And I'll make sure to get whatever information that you may need. If you contact me, make sure to get you in touch with Miss Dunmore or someone from her team. And I'll check it one more time before I close us out. All right. So thank you all again for joining us tonight for tonight's Zoom. We appreciate your participation. Each week you are available to connect with us for more informative presentations and discussions. Again, I am Tina Folston Hayes, the Parent Academy Specialist for Educational Equity and Outreach for the Alachua County Public Schools. I look forward to seeing you back here next Thursday at 6 o'clock. And without holding you all for the rest of this evening, have a good night, and just feel free to contact me should you need to, or Ms. Dunmore, in regards to any of the information that you've heard tonight. Thank you so much, Ms. Dunmore. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for the opportunity. I look forward to helping anyone that I can. Looks like we do have one more question.
Okay.
Crystal, you can give me a call at 352-381-7220. And thanks again, Tina.
You're very welcome. Very welcome.
Have a great evening.
You too. Good night.